Hey everyone! Professor and the goddess together. 高速で実化する方法を見つけたって。エネミー残り斧を高速で実化する方法を見つけたよ。Okay, so essentially they'll explain it like this. We found a way to identify the enemies without beating them up too much. Look, look. Eh? What happens? What happens if you do it? We figured it out to the point that we can now materialize into reality so we can use the corpses to have actual food. Meaning, Nemo Professor and Skadi figured out a way to stabilize and materialize the corpses that's been left behind in the imaginary realm. So we can now feast on imaginary realm enemies. So their corpses will be our food. Master's gonna have a hard time, huh? Because I bet even in the Divine Island, nobody was doing that. Oh god. I'm going to be eating I'm going to be eating a fucking monster meat or monster meal, huh? Master. So you were right here. It seems that you feel a little fatigued from what I'm detecting, but maybe perhaps you too might be sick and tired of Mr. and Nemo Merlin series' groggy with just forcefully drinking stuff instead of eating. So it's essentially Master saying, are you drunk? Did Nemo Merlin spike your drink again? So you got two words. It says, don't worry about you getting drunk. Or you can say, I was doing some muscle training together with the little Merlin. With the Marines, I should say. It says, in a submarine life, in a submarine lifestyle, I believe that's quite a healthy routine to have, in my opinion. I would love to join you on one of those sessions, but before that, I would like to inform you of a very important findings we saw. So Mr. Captain urged for an emergency briefing. So please, to the starship, to the captain's to the captain's seat. Hey. Commander, temporarily commander in charge, or what's the word again? What did I use for this one yesterday? It was standing commander. It seems like you guys are enjoying yourself with the Merlins. Thanks. Sorry that they're a little rambunctious than I am. But I got good news and bad news. Which one you want to hear first? It says, is that good news involving the monster gourmet? I see. It seems that there has been some misinterpretations around within the, there's some misinterpretations around in the ship's information. I definitely have to clear that out. The situation is better than I thought. It really is be like that. It's really good. If I were to explain it, all the Yeah, all the corpses that we've collected so far of the monsters that came by, it's not that we were going to be using them as recycling or using using them for our ration. It's not that. Goho, aka Van Gogh, specifically said that she, technically said she can eat it, but that's because it's who she is. And her Saint Graph's attribute specializes and it allows that. And it's her specialty in some sort. Regularly, it doesn't work that way. And so the Professor Nemo has analyzed her bloodline, bloodstream to figure out why she could do such a thing. And we've also realized that she has a specific capability to change an imaginary number into a reality existence. Imaginary numbers to a real number, which means that she can change imaginary things to an actual existence. She has a special ability. And with that research and told, and using this as proof, we were able now to extract very necessity items, if not valuable assets, from the corpses that it leaves behind in the imaginary realm. No, it's pretty fascinating. You do know this, right? That the fact that any resources, body parts, fuel parts, magical energy, and even to its flesh, without even having a sense of toxic after effect, we were able to manipulate and separate these things without a hitch now. And with that said, we might be able to completely solve the lack of resource problem we've been having so far. To be perfectly honest, this type of experimentation and testing program is definitely beyond and non-existence on a scale of human realm whatsoever. But besides the part that this is getting off scale this is getting off scale and harder to understand and to explain it in human realm, that's the good news. So yeah, it says that we can finally get imaginary monsters to fill our stomachs, right? I believe, yes, this is good news. I want to hear that to myself to make sure that... So it's essentially you're telling yourself that what you just heard is a good news. It seems like you too are feeling a little anxious and nervous about this whole situation with that expression on your face. Osakabe Benihime and Skasa Skadi also inclined. So essentially, like Nemo said, you have an expression of nervousness or very it's not disgusted, but made of sour face, right? It says, yeah, Hime and Skasa Skadi also said they didn't want to feast on it. And they were they're very certain and very hard stubborn on making us not feeding it to master, for sure. Yes, usually in different singularities, we have hunted many monsters and consumed them for reasons, but especially this time would be even much more special circumstances on top of each other, so it's a little bit difficult. 生身で見れば特化する海です。これを取れたものに身を伝えるものが仕方がないかと。So yeah, after all, she's saying that right now we're in a sea where if you were to see it with the naked eye or naked self, it would make you evaporate, right? Or gone crazy. そこで、the fact that you're able to capture things capture corpses from there to eat them is a little extra out of the ordinary. Yep, and with that said, I made an exception, and this is what we're gonna do. Hi, hello everyone. I believe she's Nemo Bakery, the one that we've walked by every so often to. Yep, that's the Nemo Bakery. She's been, she was missing during the briefings of explaining the Nemo series. Her specialties in bread, but essentially, she's able to cook in all different types of recipes around the world. She's very good at when it comes to cooking. 手に入れたリソースでスカサスカ D の魔術工法を一部解凍とデータに購入する。So it says, yeah, with the magical resources received, we're going to be using Skasa Skadi's territorial creation in order to create a magical lab or magical realm, aka a magical forgery or workshop, and we're going to be using that as a cafeteria. If the monster's meat has been censored, if not, prepared by Miss Bakery herself, the ration's going to be, the product that comes out from Bakery would be better than the ration itself, I think. It says, now come on, Captain. Delicious food in a receiving a delicious food in a submarine is one of the more exciting part of this adventure. So please think about this more seriously. And please, everyone, do not worry. With any ingredients that you've given me, I'll do my very best to turn them into a delicious nutrient. We're in a cruise after all. Let's try to do our best to make a fun memory. It is a little scary, but it is becoming a little bit more fun, for sure. And that was the good news, and that's the end of that. So, we're going to flip things over, and here comes the bad news. It's actually two of them. First, the very problematic thing we figured out is that we cannot ascend from the submersion of the sea, submersion from the actual imaginary realm. I kind of guessed that. Is it because of the damage we had of the malfunctioning? It was... The thing is, even if we didn't have the malfunction, we still couldn't ascend or ascend to the surface side. Because in this current moment, right now, this imaginary realm doesn't have the concept of depth, after all. So, if I were to accurately say it, it means that it has a different, it has a set amount of numbers and a perma-distant experience, meaning that the concept of depth does not exist. And if you try to observe it as a concept of depth, it would reject the logical thought process of diving terminology itself. So, right now, this feeling of deepness that we're experiencing is only in our mind. So therefore, at this current moment, the Nautilus is in a state of suspension. We can't ascend nor descend anywhere. So therefore, if we were able to ascend or rise to some sort of surface, for some odd reason, if we were to use the concept of going up in order to use the zero sail dive, the Paper Moon's magical equation gets sealed off because of the clash of what's the word, chat? Contradictions. It's also, we tried to move up and down forcefully, but it didn't work. Maybe the coordinates are bugged, and we have a possibility that if it works and we do move up and down, we have a slight chance that we might hit an imaginary rock or a reef. And because of that, we need to be careful and be alert. At this very moment, this submarine tactics specializes in the 3D movement, three-dimensional warfare. But right now, right here, the surface seaside, it feels like you're in a sea warfare. And it's like mines set out up and bottom of us. So, if we were to actually witness some tremendous foe, we don't have the capability to kill our breaths and try to go deeper underneath them to avoid collision or combat whatsoever. Don't have that capability. And now, here's the second bad news, explaining to it up till now. Unfortunately, remember when Goho has realized that there was a gigantic enemy reading when she was floating into the imaginary realm during that time? Unfortunately, our radar, aka Hime, has detected and captured that. Wait. Is Hime Princess Radar, or is she okay? Yep. She's already used to getting shot at, she's already getting used to shot at as a sonar, and she's already figured out her way to come back to us in an instant. Hey, thanks for the follow, Time JFK. Greatly appreciate your troubles. It says you have quite a rowdy bunch of friends, don't you, Protag? And with that said, when I say gigantic enemies, with the real calculations aside, I believe the size of that thing goes over 80 meters tall. Wait, isn't that bigger than the dragons? Hold up. To be perfectly honest, at this current class, it's actually bigger than the original Nautilus. If we were to calculate it with sea pressure and water volumes, it's actually twice as much. Meaning that it's almost safe to say that we're about to head towards an enemy flagship. It's tremendously big. I'm pretty sure you've seen a bigger enemy down your path, but and you have two so you have two options, right? The first option is the first emperor was definitely bigger, and the imaginary tree, aka the Lost Belt tree, was bigger than that. And with me hearing what you just said, I understood. Yeah, I can understand that the battle and the strict battles and struggle you've been gone through and hell that you had to endure. But this gigantic enemy, I believe he will be attacking regularly with that noble phantasm grade C and above, is able to simultaneously bust that out as we've been detecting and reading. We have been predicting. Therefore, we're about to それにして僕らは白変戦で起こむわけだ。日常戦いは yeah. And with this, we're going to be fighting with just a recon source. And on the seaside map planning, we're going to clash into it. There's no avoiding them whatsoever. Are you prepared for this, Musta? You have confidence that you can pull this off? I wouldn't say we'll win, but we'll do our best to go safety first, right? I do agree. So, in this operation, I believe bringing in the vice commander currently temporarily in charge, I think pulling her into your roster would be a smart move, too. So, just like before, you want me to prevent the enemy's attacks from hitting the ship and the reconnaissance team and help everybody, help everyone and be protected, correct? Yep, that's right. If you were to stop the source, if you were to stop and block the source of the attack, the theory is that it shouldn't attack the ship whatsoever. After all, we'll be right behind you. But then again, when it comes to combats and servants, that's where Troubles, or aka Protag's expertise comes into play. When it comes to team creation and operation start, I want you to be the one in charge, and I'll leave it up to you. Understood. We'll do our very best to survive and return. Captain Nemo, this is at our limit. We have to pull back. Merlin, yeah. All the Marines, pull the lifeline. Pull. Wait. The reel is stuck. What'd you say? This is current sonar reporting in. Is the lifeline getting pulled? From 275, we got some very ominous sound closing in on us. We're about to get hit. We need to get pulled back. Wait, yeah, Yunyu, can you not move by yourself? Or Mash, hold out just a little longer. Yes, Musta, but we're almost at the limits. Well, let me say this once, Musta. If we were to, cottage or says if we abandon those girls and shoot my noble phantasm, we might be saved in the first place. That is not an option. I see. I understood your resolve and your opinion, and therefore I won't say it again. But if we were to continue this path, that is going to be our last option. Yeah, enemy reinforcements and enemy attack coming in at 70 seconds. Master and everyone else, start thinking. We can't hold on any longer. We're gonna die. I should have just stayed home and I should have stayed home and shut myself up instead of going here. It was a short life, but Goho is happy. After all, I was able to see all of you before we retired. Well, you can't give up. You're quite correct. I believe it's a little too early. That was a Goho joke. What the? She's actually stronger. Yeah, she's mentally stronger than I thought. What is wrong with this girl? You're so laid back. Do you have a way to solve this problem? Well, I would like everyone to close their eyes, if that's okay. Huh? I'm going to
release my noble phantasm, but I don't know what happens. Even Goho don't know when I do that. So, it's a drawing that I'm going to be painting at my worst time of my life, and at the same time, Goho is a foreigner too. So, but I know that if we bust my noble phantasm, I know that we can overcome this problem. I can guarantee. Yes.
Then do it. Please do it. And please, Mr. Goho.
Huh?
What the hell's happening now?
Yes. This is the calculation room. It seems that another a bunch of numbers have popped up out of nowhere. It seems that in the imaginary realm, for some odd reason on a completely different scale, an abnormality has occurred. A reality marble level of noble phantasm has just activated.
Huh?
So, somebody just released a noble phantasm where they are right now, and it's an unknown one at that? Yes. Please wait. I don't know what this is. Yes. Yes. These calculators, and these are all mathematical numbers of the old, and yes, maybe the machine has finally gave out. It seems very peculiar, but from the machine, I believe the frontline team, aka the militia team, has all been evaded the arsenal of an assault. They're in a safe territory, and we've detected their evasion from the collision. Master and Captain, if we were to pull them back, now is the best opportunity.
Nemo! This is the time we strike back. Let's do this.
The fact that you go forward in a crucial time like this, a very brave choice you made there, Captain in Command.
Understood. Reporting to all men. Now this ship is going to go for a noble phantasm assault. We're going to the front lines. Prepare yourself. At this current moment, the ship haul will not last. So use all your resources to maximum to make sure that the hull doesn't strike and break itself apart. Prepare for the what's the word? Prepare for the aftermath of our noble phantasm launched. The coordinate's going to be at 605 at the enemy battleship. We're going to be using the wave against them in order to strike them where it hurts. Listen up, men. Pull yourself together. If we can't destroy this in one blow, they will counterattack and our ship will sink. This is where we have to pull it off. Grit and gut is all we have from the very beginning. It's already full. Hey, calculation room. You've already figured out how to manipulate these numbers to protect the ship, right? Yes, it's quite impossible. It's going to be very feasible defense, but we'll avoid the fatal fatal boiler room from being crashed. So
I know the boiler room person is quite scary, so maybe if I dance in front of them after all this is over, maybe you'll forgive me. Huh? Like I'll forgive you. The hell you talking about? Barely defendable. The fact that, if there's any fatal wounds that I can't fix on my ship, after all this is over, you're gonna be dancing at the freaking inside the boiler room after you become corpses and become a fuel for this ship. Ah, oh God, this is a problem. Professor's gonna be a seaside barbecue. To be perfectly honest, this is like some next level Captain one-sided play, isn't it? It's just that even on the inside, we and I are all, you know, very nervous about the current situation. Maybe if I were to say it, if I were to say it, it's, yeah, I would definitely love to hear it. Say it. All right, fine. I'm gonna say it. At this rate, let's tackle and shatter. All right, let's go. Yep. Seaman has to be like that. We're all guts and ready to go. Triton engine start. Sequence at its final ascension. Confirmed. Of course, we're all prepared. The calculations and the distance and the approximate prediction rate and speed has been all calculated. The magical defense barrier is activating. Huh? Engine 1 and Engine 2. It's time to spin to its glory. I'm gonna push him to its limits. Then, perhaps, maybe we should add pudding for lunch. I'll permit it. Let's do this. Activating Noble Phantasm. Captain Nemo, who will not tolerate the sea being tarnished. Guretoramu Nochiran. So the Nautilus of the Great Arm. Boom. Let's go. Which Nemo is the best? I believe Bakery